Hello. Okay, we're going to see to talk about two different concepts and the workflows that are very common and important. Okay, what are RFQ and RFI? RFQ and RFI are requests for quotation or for information. And in here, if we go to the Canary Academy in Executive Assistant, probably this will change by the time you're watching the video. We have RFI. If not, you can just type here RFI or RFQ, and it will bring you to this article. Now, the video probably will be somewhere here. RFQ are for when we need to request a quote, a price, a service out there. And normally we need to have an approval from the client normally. So we need to collect few quotations, gather the information, and then expose that to the client and then get an approval and liaise. And then request for information is sometimes we need extra information from a hydraulic engineer, or maybe a hydraulic engineer needs the information from us. And those things come normally in the form of an email or a phone call, and we need to proceed with the workflow. Now, this workflow at this stage is a bit mixed, but little by little we're gonna improve it and get it right. So basically, the person responsible of the project, the PR, person responsible, will create a task in Asana. So I'm going to create, let's say, in this one drawing set, renaming call. Create one RFI shop front, and assign the task to whoever needs to do the task. In this case, let's do myself, and whenever it has to be done. Okay, tomorrow, done. In here, we normally need to add information as the person responsible that is going to be attached in the request for information. So in this case, let's do something random. Yeah, this one. Let's say that this is the information that we need to attach to the email. Okay, so well, all done, and maybe we need to add some extra information that clarifies to the person who is going to start requesting for the quotation. Now, the person received the task. So we have now a number of things that need to happen to really keep control of what is going on. So we said that the task is going to happen in 10 to 14 stem more rows. So we go to accounts, because it's like project management, 10 to 14 stem more row, and then we go to RFI. Okay, now we create a folder called 170625. It will be an RFI in this case, or RFQ. It will be shop front. Okay, whatever. And the normal thing would be that the responsible can also create this folder. Well, it doesn't really matter who creates it, but it needs to be here, and then it needs to be added the information we have on the task. So we extract from the task, or we bring from somewhere else, and we have this information. So now we know, now we have a piece of information that we're going to send us to get the quotation. Now, if we go back to Asana, another thing that should be interesting is to write a draft email in here, like maybe even here. Dear, whatever. Please, we are requesting a quotation for a shop from blah blah blah. The address is, the purpose is a commercial building, is as much information to clarify as needed, right? So we have this thing, boom. Now, what do we need to do next? We need to go to the CRM. Let's go to the projects, and let's add a node, stem more row, and we add a node call, and we now go here, create a folder that we have done it already, add information that is going to be sent as given. So we have added the information to this folder, create a node CRM called RFI or RFQ subject. Okay. So we add node RFI shop front. And in here, we list people we are going to contact in the draft email, if possible. Yeah, ideally we put the draft email because it will be very easy to then copy and paste this email, even copy from other nodes. So dear blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is already the person looking for the quotation. Now we have to list in here the potential shop front installers, let's say. So what we need to do, a search shop front installers in Sydney, and then start requesting, like checking who can do the job. Normally we add like 5 to 10 people because they would respond. Like the ratio of responsiveness is normally like 50%, and we always need at the very least 3 quotations, but normally 5 is much better. So we can collect the information of an organization and insert it into here, and if the company is quite interesting, we just set a new organization if we don't have it in the database, or a new contact that normally works in an organization. Like the organization will be the shopfront company and the person will be an employee on the relationship. But for this, check the video of contact management. Okay, so then here we go. We have a node created. Actually, I just deleted the node, but let's say that we create a node shop front, and then we can add information as we request, as we're receiving responses. But before, I don't know, the template email. Okay, we create an email. Is to create the RFA or the RFI, whatever is needed. All ready to go. We send the email and we name the email project name, RFI, and subject. Like for example, I go here and I create new project to. I was gonna send it to myself. No, sorry, to studio at thecanary.com, and then in BCC we add the contact list, Marcos at thecanary.com. Let's say that this was the installer of shopfront.com, whatever. We add them the information, we attach the file we were adding in the folder, and in the subject we add the project code, or in fact it's better to add the project name because the project code is meaningless for the people that are receiving the email. Stenmore Road. Normally we add also Enmore, the server underscore RFI or RFQ, and then RFI. Everyone understand RFI. RFQ, some people might get confused, but it doesn't really matter. That is for our internal control. Enmore, boom, 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 and shop front request. Please make the subject as self-explanatory as possible. So if we send this information, error the address, yeah, because I put a weird thing here. Okay, sending, fantastic. So then this gets classified as a request for information that probably we're gonna receive it also in Google. Marcos Vatovic strange situation. What is this? Sorry, I was in studio. So this gets dragged to RFI, and then again, if we already have the information, but then we can ignore. If not, we proceed as per the RFI and RFQ information management and the email protocol. So okay, we send that, and now we're receiving quotations, right? So what normally happens is that we receive we receive the information, or a consultant, or we receive the price, or whatever is RFI or RFQ, and what we do is we normally drag it here, and then as per the email management, someone just classifies the information into the right folder. And in parallel, we have to update the nodes, right? So let's say that the node was the consultant. He was shop from Sydney. Okay, and we have the email, and now we can add a note saying like, okay, receive quote for $500, comma. Time frame is 2 weeks. They need what, blah 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 blah, whatever. And so the node needs to be called RFI shop front. Okay, add node. And sometimes we need to create a task to follow up on that node, right? So we can create here the category will be follow up, phone call, meeting, follow up, due date whenever, maybe in 3 days we go and follow up on there. Or it might be that the people we have approached, they are asking us for extra information, in which case then now we are in a request for information, but it can be all included on this particular case in request for quotation. Okay, I know that is a bit confusing, but in reality it's not that complicated. We only need to follow the steps. Now, finally, I'd like to talk about the most common services or the most common situations. So normally on a planning stage, we have surveyors like for the survey, which is key, and that have to happen at the very, very, very beginning of the project. Arborists, town planners, geotechnical engineers, that is very common, so we can prepare the DA or the CDC. Then structural and hydraulic engineer are normally common on a construction documentation stage, and private certifier, this is always needed. If we go DA, we need it at the CC stage, or if we go CDC from the very beginning. And council fees, which is something very common, so we call council to ask how much is going to be to launch a project, and they will give us according to the site area and the cost of construction. In fact, I'm gonna edit this, and we're gonna add the cost of construction. If they're going to need address, cost of construction, and description. Yeah. Then on the pre-construction stages, we have very often on tendering, we have for commercial like kitchens and joiners, and also we need joiners normally for residential. Windows is very common, finishes, flooring to understand pricing. So this is fairly common. And then we have in construction stages, trades. That's another thing that is quite common. So I just list here what sort of information do they need. And I hope that this makes sense. Read it, and any question you can give me a call. Bye bye.